We are into game number 1 between these two Korean players on the Korean server. In the bottom right, as the red Terran, he is NaTuRaL.
And his opponent in the top left, the blue Zerg Impact, who has shown us a lot of really awesome games recently through Alima League and such.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well. I'm glad to see him make more than just, the round of 8s, and then also taking on some of the really awesome players. I mean, Innovation hasn't played this week, but a couple weeks ago, Impact took him on and actually had a couple of decent TVZs, which I think this one will be a pretty good one as well. NaTuRaL, not a TVZ god, like a lot of other powerful Korean Terrans, but he is good. Impact in form, should be having some good games as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the hour we're broadcasting and all this, I think a lot of you guys have probably seen NaTuRaL on BaseTradeTV at some point. You should have a good idea who he is, or we always paint him as the up-and-coming, the rising talent in Korea, but I think Impact's established himself pretty well at this point. A lot of people kind of like, I don't know, I remember, what was it, VSL I think he won last year? Like, a lot of people didn't give him really good, like, any credit for it, and
Yeah.
Impact is a very, very good Zerg player in a region dominated by fantastic Terrans.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, as much as I want to try and be like, yeah, people don't give him enough credit, it was super, super awesome. VSL was not a very popular tournament. The prestige definitely wasn't there. The players also, I think, whenever the big ones were knocked out, no one really cared because they were still in GSL and SSL. So it was like, okay, they're out of it. That's like VSL, like who cares? So Impact still has a lot to prove. When you have Dark, Rogue, and Sue constantly being talked about, constantly showing how to deal with mech, for instance, like Rogue's a big hot topic right now, especially after that last game. Impact just doesn't have there's no space for him quite yet. There's the 4 horsemen of the Terran, but there's only apparently the 3 brothers
Apostles
of Zerg. I was like, what is 3?
I'm trying to think of something biblical, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. I think the 3
three
brothers kind of
wise men.
works. Yeah, sure, the 3 wise men of Zerg. Impact's not really there, but there aren't many other Zergs, to be honest, besides those top 3 that are really making waves. Because even Solar, like as great of a Zerg as he is no longer making waves like it was a year and a half ago.
Well, Sarah's apparently number 2 on the Korean ladder. Just saying.
Well, let's talk about Korean Zergs. I mean, oh my god, I talk about European Zergs. Give me like the whole list. I got like 20 names on it. But it is interesting, the difference of the regions, and this is not exactly a wild card qualifier, it's just a general qualifier. So it's base NA, a lot of Europeans, and now we're casting the Koreans coincidentally.
Well, NaTuRaL, I think, will give us some pretty good games. In all honesty, I'm kind of hoping Impact advances on. If for another reason, they'll make the finals another ZvT instead of a TVT. As at this point, the bottom side of the bracket, which, by the way, I should make sure Dares knows do not hold. Please make sure the other semifinals is playing, because we don't want a super, super duper long cast. Lily Canine and Keen, or Lily Canine. Lily Kakeen? Oh, I'm trying to make a good joke out of this. Not working. They're going to have one of them go through to, of course, the winners bracket finals. So the best of 3 after the one we are currently casting is a qualifying match.
Yes. Right, after the next one, yeah. We do have an Overlord drop being set up, and that'll be quite annoying. NaTuRaL is going to be trying to focus on his own drop. He's a Terran player, the one that's expecting to do all the work in the beginning of the game. That he won't have much going on behind. The tank's in a siege in a very bad position. There's going to be a Viking that can't help, and this is actually one of the worst situations to have a drop enter into. But I guess on the simple... Nah, Queens, just kidding. Just kidding. Queens will be able to deal with this eventually. Seriously, just not much can deal with this. He pulls the SCVs into the tank range, but even the friendly fire could hurt. 6 SCVs go down, and Overlord went down for Impact. Queens did clear this up. Spore Crawler already in position. Marines being cleaned up by another handful of Lings. This has been a great early game trade for Impact.
Ooh, that Viking getting the drop Overlord too. Not that I think he was planning to use a lot more, or just have it die. Okay.
Yeah. I
That's
think at the
bad.
last second he realized I should scout, as he hadn't quite seen, I think, Sim started or the extra barracks until that point. A lot of A lot of Terrans are trying out mech, putting into their playstyle. I think NaTuRaL did try at least once the last time we saw him.
Well, guys, as we wait for the next step of the game to get underway, just a quick reminder, if you're watching this live on Twitch, first off, I hope you're enjoying the show. Secondly, take a quick moment to hit that follow button on the channel if you haven't already. Liberator removes the Queen. A slow reaction out of Impact could have avoided that.
Very quick reaction to pick up those Marines once again. And NaTuRaL is getting some nice harassment done. You know what? Impact also saw a lack of a third CC. He actually doesn't realize that's over there. But the timings of the barracks might have told him enough. I want to recheck that, send a link or something over there. He's getting missile attacks instead of melee attacks. For the eventual Hydralist, then I assume will come down.
I like it. I like it a lot more than melee. I'm not super in love with all the Zerg that seem to trend to go all melee, with Hydras being the priority in their army.
I can see it. I don't mind either way. I understand why melee... Oh, whoopsie daisy. Sorry. Why melee is sometimes or more often chosen, though. For me, especially when I go up against Ling, Baneling, Hydra, it's always scary to go up against the Ling, Baneling. The Hydras are that accessory that makes sure that everything in my army dies, but it's not what I'm actually splitting and microing against.
Yeah, plus I mean, there's the argument to be made. If you're going for melee, it's cheaper to mass produce melee units than obviously ranged units.
And, you know, obviously a lot of the end game goal here is getting to ultras, so certainly some benefits, but Impact does finally slap down that Hydralist end. Took his time, got all the other upgrades first, got a lot of Lings and Banelings first too. Still has yet to deal with this entirely.
Good focus fire. Just kind of ducks it and grabs the Baneling, runs the hell away.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think NaTuRaL is kind of a typical up-and-coming Korean Terran where, like, he's going to impress us probably first with his micro and, you know, second with his macro and then last with his decision-making. Because that always, I think, is what trips up the Terrans that are not quite there, is they seem to make a lot of bad decisions, basically. Rush decisions, even. Too aggressive. Have to learn to control it, blah, blah, blah. But this Ling attack kills that one tank, that one defensive tank. I thought NaTuRaL was going to go into tanks, especially since, you know, Ling, Hydra, Baneling is so popular. I keep saying Roach. But, no, he's gotten into Widowmines.
Adam Ski, by the way, chat wants to know if we're going all the way to the finals this morning. Technically, yes, in two terms. There's no grand finals of today's qualifier. The top two players will get through. So the finals of the top half of the bracket and the finals of the bottom half of the bracket.
Right. We're actually playing out the final thing in that bracket. That just be the winner.
Yeah. So congratulations, you guys already won. No need to play.
Yeah, and there's nothing preceding either, so. But yeah, you'll know who's actually qualified, and then we'll announce, of course, the invites later on. But Widowmine pushed through the bottom half of the map. We also have a drop to the north that is gonna survive. It distracted well enough. Impact's army is entirely out of position. Oop. I like the attempt to pick up the Widowmines. Kind of failed, though.
NaTuRaL's not doing anything that's super risky, which is both good and bad, right? Because on one hand, all right, you're playing safe, so you're not dying. On the other, he's not really, NaTuRaL's not getting anything really done here concretely. Maybe these medevacs can, but so far he's not really done much damage to Impact. And Impact's sitting here very happily on 80 drones.
Oh.
Overlord drop it!
All right, well, that's a little scary. NaTuRaL just slaps down a command center where he can. I mean, NaTuRaL is, so you're right, like, it's not really doing very much, but as long as his macro is kind of meeting the pace of this game, he realizes, like, oh, okay, I'm not going to win this Widowmine push, then it can be okay. And the 4 CC, maybe a second starport. Impact is going up to Hive.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at the worker's kill count is almost non-existent for all these drops and stuff he's been doing. And you absolutely are correct. Like, his army supply is keeping up. His macro's fine. He's not slipping because of anything he's doing. But still, just like with the amount of effort he's putting in, I'm surprised he hasn't actually gotten more.
Yeah. That sometimes describes NaTuRaL a lot for me, to be honest. He faces a lot of these really great Zerg group Protoss or Terran, like whatever race, and will have so much going on because he is a big multitasker, a lot about the micro, but just won't actually be doing enough.
That's really cool. Last moment there, he tried to focus on the Overseer to protect his Widow Mines, but they, of course, still got blown up on anyways.
Yeah. 8 SCVs went down somewhere, not to the Baneling drop. Oh, it is the Baneling drop. My bad. I guess I was looking at the wrong Overlord. I got bamboozled.
Scamboozled.
Yeah, but it was only 8 SCVs, so that wasn't quite the devastating amount that even Impact was probably hoping for. Infestors are on the way. They do not have pathogen glands, but they will burrow and be waiting for a shark attack later on, and NaTuRaL has to be very careful with how he plays out the rest of this game. 3-3 is on the way. Still no second starport, and he's trying to push with the regular old Widowmine bio base, but not really working. Woo! Planetary wasn't done. That was a lot of lings. Attack over here is barely going to be able to snipe that hatchery.
That's a really good pickoff, too, because he's going to get out of there with that boost. Nothing to catch those medevacs. But, oh, Depot is down in the natural base.
And the main.
Irony.
And the main. This is a lot of chaos, and NaTuRaL has to make a very tough decision. He's going to just try and focus on the front attack, but he has no splash damage left over. His Widow Mines are all back here, and he cannot deal with that army. He just probably lost the game. Almost 40 SCVs have been taken down.
Jesus. Just imagine if you had those depots up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, any one of these depots is up. That's a lot less damage. Even the main base is a lot less to worry about. A lot of SCVs still go down, mind you, but, you know, some reactors went down. This literally brought a lot of the reinforcements back, or, yeah, they even got taken out. Luckily for NaTuRaL, the upgrades were not targeted, but Burrow did finish during this attack, so he's going to have to scan, which he can't. Okay, there we go. Drops to the south, drops to the north. Impact is moving in towards the middle. Might turn into a bit of a base trade. No, Impact pulls back. Pull back some of his units. A lot more still on the way out, but NaTuRaL was actually chasing down a large number of lings, so he's not all here to defend his third base. This drop in the main base is actually really cool. Idea with the Marauders isn't going to last forever.
Ooh. Ah. Ben has seen some really nice connections there.
Yeah. Impact still has another, you know, very healthy mining base where all his drones move to.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up, too. Like, he might lose hatcheries this game, but look at the workers killed. 61-11. NaTuRal's killed, like, almost no workers this game. Most of them came from this attack just now, when he's already on 80+. I love the idea of what NaTuRal's done. I think his multitasking is fantastic. But that depot run put him too far behind, and now this Ultra's coming out with Chitinous Plating. I just don't feel there's much hope left at this point.
Nah. Like, seriously, 6 lings just killed 13 extra SCVs that were rallied to the 4th base, because I guess he did actually lose the command center. I don't even know how, but he did. This attack is obviously going to be the last one, and Impact has survived. He's blossomed. He's even saved his hatchery, transfuses.
GG.
GG.
All right, well, game 1 for Impact. Gotta feel good.
Yeah, that was a strong game by him. Good defense. Oh, Impact. Okay. Calm down there, buddy. All
How do
caps.
you host?
No, I just yelled. He's
Oh,
really
Matt, go, 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 go.
Really gung-ho.
Maybe just really, really, really is excited for Mech Depot, man. It is a pretty nice map.
It's all right. Well, he
Got
was
them
waiting.
aesthetic.
He's waiting 40 minutes, so he's probably like, I want to get rid of this nerd. By the way, if NaTuRaL does lose this series, it'd be in his best interest to continue to lose this bracket, because I don't think anyone actually showed up for it. Actually, Rainer and Nice are playing, but Creed and Hellraiser both just dropped, I think.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's a small enough bracket that even if it was, everyone's still participating. Like, you're really... His chances of winning are high.
Yeah. Well, they are very eager to go, so let's get into Mech Depot, which is the bottom of my list. Damn it. We are into game number 2. It's on Mech Depot in the top right. Has the red Zerg. He's Impact.
And his opponent bottom left, down the game at the moment, it's NaTuRaL. My camera was not moving with yours for some reason. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. We just refreshed it. Pardon the mumbling, guys. Just observer problems.
Yeah, well, so NaTuRaL had some problems actually getting much damage done in that game. Ton of attempts at pressure and drops, and there was even a couple of good snipes and cool maneuvers, but Impact clearly had the better end of the defense. And to be honest, Ascension to Ire can be difficult. If you lose the momentum once, it's kind of lost forever, and Impact had all the right moves to stop NaTuRaL's momentum as much as he tried to gain it back. Mech Depot might be a little bit different, but Mech Depot is deceptively large, with the rocks being in the middle here. It's actually not that straightforward of a push third to third base. NaTuRaL actually didn't have such a bad pushing path. When you take the third base like he did in that triangle pattern, and then Impact takes the one farthest from his main base, that's decent, but it wasn't really used enough. So I'm not sure Mech Depot will be very different, but maybe with this larger airspace, the drops work out a little bit more effectively. Or NaTuRaL just chooses to do a different build. The Woodamine Marine drop's always a bit of a curious one. You know, it didn't give a lot of production to deal with the Ling drop, which only a certain number of Zergs do against Terran in the first place. But other than that, as that was important to that last game, we lost 7 SCVs pretty early on, it also just doesn't have a lot of staying power. You know, if they actually know to get a Spore Crawler preemptively, and they have Queens.
Yeah, if you have Queens, full stop. There's the sentence ending right there.
Kind of, yeah. It does get you into faster barracks production, but yeah, his follow-up wasn't swift, or, you know, obviously didn't kill Impacts well enough. So a Hellion Opener or the like might be something that lasts a little bit longer. It can actually scare Impact into thinking there could be Hellbats as well. I don't know. NaTuRaL just needs to actually get some serious damage done, as opposed to the little bits here and there that happened last game. Time will actually tell if he swaps over this factory or not. That's actually literally what we're waiting for. He has gotten up to 2 gases, so Starport is going to follow. A single Marine chasing down an Overlord. What a sight. Impact's actually taken... Oh, never mind. This Overlord's gonna die.
This would be a really bad supply block if it actually dies. Things are coming, but I think they'll be a little too late.
A little bit. He's got a focus fire, and he is.
Ooh, ouch.
Wow. Big thanks to Tenchi for hosting us after the Masters Coliseum. Much appreciated.
Oh, wow. Hope you guys had a good time watching Masters Coliseum. Really good players.
Oh, yeah. Very, very good. And a lot of the Europeans that are in Korea are playing in that one, which makes it, like, really even, like, more awesome. So, what did NaTuRaL end up doing? He did not swap over that factory, so no Hellion Opener, but he is mixing up his drop a little bit instead of going for a Woodamine drop, which again, it's, you know, literally gets 1 attack off, and usually either on a Queen, which it does not kill, or a Ling, which obviously isn't worth it. The Cyclone adds a lot of DPS, but also a lot of health to the push. If they accidentally focus for the Cyclone, then it's pretty worth it. But it is a bit of a NaTuRaL special, I want to say. NaTuRaL and that guy that was on Dust but isn't anymore. He had one little brief month of a blip where he was doing really well, and then I forgot who he was.
Bunny?
Thank you, Bunny. Yeah, him and Bunny seem to be the guys that include Cyclones in the oddest situations. And I'm still not entirely convinced they're too helpful. We'll see.
Well, Medevac heading straight towards that main, but to hit with that Cyclone, which is a very unconventional drop, but one that can be very powerful if handled correctly.
Oh, that's sad. I guess Raynor might actually drop out of loser's bracket. Womp womp.
Oh, it feels sad, man.
Yeah.
That might just be a factor of not wanting to play cross server too. I will say this, guys, before I want to take shots at any player for ever dropping out of a bracket, no matter how easy or bad it might be. Sometimes cross server is just like the hard stop for a lot of people. You couldn't pay them thousands of dollars to play cross server.
Yeah, and he'll be going up against Nice, who is Taiwanese.
He's still trying to micro him with the Cyclone. It's not getting much because Impact is actually responding to this really well. Just by being there, in position and ready to go, he's keeping this from doing much damage.
Again, the Cyclone can take a few shots, but the Queens are focus firing on the medevac, and the Cyclone's actually even low itself, so this drop is pretty much done and over with. Liberator is not going to be able to even get that much of a surprise. Like last game, it at least attacked a different place, so it got some decent damage done on the main base. Well, not really, but let's just say it sieged up and attacked in the main base. It might not get the opportunity in this one, as it is going to the same place the Queens were just at. Already being attacked, they'll lose major portions of its health. This Queen over here should be able to do it, or attack its extractor accidentally.
Oh, ouch. One more shot. One more shot. That's how it always is with these poor Liberators. One more shot.
Yeah. Not the greatest there. A couple of Hellions were made. So I guess he either swapped the factory or just made them one at a time. Didn't get to catch which one. But Impact has gone for the melee upgrades this time. So we didn't really talk about it last game, but he did eventually just go into melee upgrades. He was at 2-2 at the end of that game, going on his way to Hive. He just also had +1 missile. We have a Baneling drop with a couple of Lings included. He got a Baneling drop off last game. It only killed like 7 or 8 SCVs. With the Lings here, it could actually do even more damage than 4 Banelings, because if they pull, the Lings can still chase them down if they're weak. That is a mighty fine looking third base to drop on.
So I want to go back to the topic of the upgrades for the moment, though. I kind of complimented him doing it for last time. I don't think it was like game breaking or game making that he did, range versus melee, but I did like to see the range.
Here it comes.
It's only 6 or so workers, but still feels good, man.
Yeah, and a couple more are going to go down because of the Lings. He just actually has nothing prepared over here. He actually had it in the main base, maybe worried about a drop in there.
That went from a hard stop of 6 all the way up to 9. It's actually pretty good.
Overload is at least taken out. NaTuRaL got some pretty decent snipes on the other side of the map, running away from the Banelings, but, you know, the idea is not to have to run away, but rather have a consistent push. The fact that he had to completely disengage, he might actually get counterattacked again here, or just simply, not even a counterattack, he's not attacking right now, he's just getting attacked. Is really not great for NaTuRaL's pacing in this game. Lings just simply run away.
Yeah, I feel bad for NaTuRaL. Like it feels like once again we're kind of granted to a much smaller scale, but watching him do so much and get so little.
Yeah. Impact might have finally been caught unawares. He's usually had Lings and Banelings set up in the main base, but this is not a very big drop. The Widowmine actually is going to scumbag the Terran more than anything else. Army is completely chased down these Lings. It's looking completely useless.
They tend to do that.
Yeah. NaTuRaL is losing out on a lot of important momentum right here. These last 2 minutes, actually, I would say it's been a very long time that he has not applied any pressure to Impact's front is pretty bad. He's going to try a drop here. It's going to be taken up by the Hydras, and this attack actually is really unexpected to go through this side of the map.
I feel like this kind of goes back to last game a little bit, though, where we saw him do so much and get like no worker kills, no harass, like trade with army at best type thing. It's like a bad reenactment.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of deja vu, really, as we even have a pseudo base trade. Now, last time Impact brought back enough units to take care of NaTuRaL's attempted double drop, I believe it was. But this game, he's actually just trying to depend on reinforcements.
And like, it's a bit weird to see somebody try and base trade a Terran, right? If that's what this did come down to in full throttle, but the Hydras are pretty good. However, that's a large chunk of bio. Impact's going to recognize that immediately and start falling back. But man, he's done so much damage. If he can find a way to hold on at home, Impact is so far ahead. 81 workers to 38 SCVs. I don't care how good you think mules are. They're not that good.
Yeah, I think he has found a way to hold on, too. Just barely enough Banelings, a lot of Queens, a lot of Transfuse. He could save the Hatchery. There's Transfuses. He's missing them. Oh, my God. That actually probably went down to, like, 10 health at one point. Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, my God. Another Transfuse.
Oh,
another Transfuse.
my God.
And another one. It's DJ freaking Khaled.
I can't believe that actually survived. I thought it was just going to be dead. I didn't even bother clicking on it.
I wish there was like a counter where you could see just how much health that hatchery ended up getting transfused for, right? That was like every queen, just squeezing out every last bit of energy to keep it alive. And that's like the ultimate denial for natural, because his logic was like, okay, you know what? At least I'll get the hatchery for this. No, he lost his third. He lost 20 plus SCVs. Didn't get the base for it. Didn't get the drone kills for it. This is going to be absolutely devastating for our Terran.
Yeah. He had a bigger army supply. He still has a bigger army supply, but unfortunately, it's always difficult to base trade a Zerg player on creep. If you can't catch them, pre-making their banelings and they actually roll into you, it's really hard to get effective engagements. And so much of his army was actually back, holed up in the main base, trying to defend. Just the split was not there, and, well, the attempted focus fire wouldn't have even been enough, perhaps. The third base goes down. Impact still has probably this large of an army, which I think can hold long enough to replace. So, could be the last engagement here for NaTuRaL. He did lose his third command center to a handful of Hydras, which is actually too bad. Didn't talk too much about that, but he probably could have saved it.
Oh, I'm going to assume my microphone got Skyped on by the sounds of what chat's saying.
Potential.
We'll get to it after the game's done, guys. Not much to be done about it right now. At the attack from Impact that was just pending or impending. Honestly, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but Doom is on the doorstep of NaTuRaL.
Well, he's got a wall and he has a base. This is his main command center floated over. But he does
That
not
poor
have a
Marauder
supply.
sound.
Wouldn't mind, please. That would have mind reached a long way back to splash all the medevacs and Marauders.
And these medevacs are all out of juice, too. Even if they are going to heal, there's not much to do.
You can pick up Micro. Oh, okay. Not for very long.
I like it. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not going to last so long, but hey, it is what it is, and that's it. NaTuRaL holding on for every fiber of his being, but I'm sure he's really aware it's over. He pulls all the SCVs, pulling the boys, doing what he can. It's not going to be enough. The Liberator dies too. Just waiting for that tap out. GG.
So that'll advance Impact on to face Keen, who was able to 2-0 Lilikaneen. That will have to be played on the Korean server as well. So we should just wait here. Or I guess I'm going to ask Darius to tell Keen to come on over. Come on over. But that'll be the winners finals. Whoever wins this next best of 3 will have qualified. Whoever loses still has their shot in the losers bracket. But as always, we're going to be taking a quick break while we get into that. And so we can talk a little bit about TING as well. This is the TING Open Season 4. You've probably been around for some of the other seasons, but if you haven't, TING is a mobile phone service company that does primarily work for people who don't use data very much. But I'll let them talk a little bit more about that. Yeah?
I was just going to mention, too, quick reminder to everybody who's unfamiliar, Ting is unfortunately also only a U.S. mobile phone service, like strictly. I know like every season we do this, we mention that, but people still ask, like, does it work in Canada? And I'm just going to make it very clear. Unfortunately, the answer is no.
Yeah. All right. See you guys soon.